This is a follow-up to a video I made about how I visual journal in a daily agenda. I'll include the link below. And I got so many questions about how I designed the covers for my yearly visual journal so that they're all unique, but they still look like part of a set or a visual journal series because they have a consistent design aesthetic. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I create these covers and the collage numbers. If you're a fan of conceptual art, you might even guess the artist who inspired my number collage designs. I'll tell you who that artist is and show you the piece that inspired me at the end of this video. Hey, I'm Lisa Sonora, founder of Visual Journal Studio, and I teach visual journaling as a creative outlet that supports your well-being and helps you make meaningful art. First of all, I will show you my numbers. These are either handwritten or stamped on a variety of papers. Let me just get these off to the side here. And I love these zipper envelopes. And I use some file folders and also some pieces of cardstock folded in half. You can see I have enough numbers for lots of journals, but I just like to make these. So here are a bunch of twos, since we're in the 21st century, is that correct? I don't know, I always get mixed up on that because the century is ahead of the number, 20th, yeah, 21st, we're in the 20s, anyway. So these I rubber stamped on, or actually I have foam stamps. So there's paint or there's ink. You can handwrite your numbers. I like to have lots of possibilities, and I use basically a color palette of 2 colors of paint, an off-white and a black. And then some type of craft paper, and then these are even craft paper on the back. These are file folders that I cut up. So this is what one of the file folders in a set looks like. Got these years ago at Target. And gift wrap paper. It has gold. I like to add a little gold sheen in things. So those are some of my numbers that I make and cut out. It's quite satisfying. Let's see, where did the twos go? Oh yeah, there's so many. And then this is an example where I just folded a piece of paper in half to house some of the other ones, other numbers. Okay, so I've got my numbers. And then let me talk about another favorite subject of all of us, which is going to be these collage papers. These are also organized. I keep all this stuff together in a plastic document box. This just comes from an office supply store. And let's see. This is a selection of wrapping paper, some scrapbook paper, the file folders. They look good on both sides. This is beautiful handmade paper that I bought in Florence, Italy. And I just love it. And you know how you buy something really precious and think, oh, I should save it for something important? Well, I decided that tearing it up and using it in my daily sketchbooks, you know, I touch these every single day, many times a day, or I'm looking at them during the year. So to me, it's worth it to use this beautiful paper. In fact, on this pattern, I use it on the back of every single one of these daily journals. See that? What type? This is just a paper bag material, or it was probably packing from an Amazon box, but it's basically like your paper, grocery bag paper. Okay, so these are some of the collage papers that I do the stamping on, as well as these. And if you have sheet protectors, these aren't sheet protectors, but these are like overhead projector plastic things that I just had. So I wanted to sort out my coordinating scraps of collage material that go with this, and then this is what I will also stamp on. This is one of my paintings cut up. This is paper bag with marker. Love that. These are my backs that I use, these Italian papers, the little squares. I pre-cut a bunch of them. Notes that I cut out of my papers that I find funny. Supportive resource, this says. I don't know, sometimes I might want to glue these in, but these are just like coordinating papers, and I keep them organized like this. These are more of my paintings cut up. I love to paint on cardboard, but for a sketchbook, cardboard is too thick, so I use, you know, pieces of shopping bags, paper shopping bags, and love to paint on these and sketch. This is some, if you have scrapbook paper, this is like polka dot scrapbook paper. I just painted over it with some of my off-white paint. So you can do that. Look how great this paint looks. One color of paint on a paper bag. Am I the only one thrilled by this? I find it super thrilling. And then so what I would do is go stamp on top of this. Let's see if I can find one that I did. Oh yeah, here. And this one is a number 1. Stamped on top of paper bag. Actually, there's a piece of masking tape on there. I love masking tape and painting on masking tape. Another thing I do with these journals is I always do just some of the off-white paint on the front cover and then scratch into it. It's just something I do. I always add my little cloud emoji. I'm calling it a cloud emoji. It's just, I sign my work with that a lot, and my name gets handwritten on one of these scrap pieces of paper and glued on. Okay, so how do I decide on the numbers, which numbers are going on the cover? Well, it's a very important decision to make, don't you think? Oh, here is a roll of washi tape that could go with this. I just have it in here. So, whenever I'm designing the cover, so I have all these out and organized because it's 2022 and time for a new cover. And so I looked through my stuff and came up with some ideas. So here's the blank book, and pretty soon it will look very different. So I like to lay out options, and I think this all got messed up when I was floating around, but I took out several possibilities, for numbers. So this is pretty simple. Maybe I should just lay this out on the journal. Where did the other one go? Okay, I thought I had more. So here's the front cover. Now, if you notice, something that these all have in common is some kind of strip at the bottom. Well, it's painted. There's a strip at the bottom, some craft paper in here, and maybe some other of the collage papers. So I was thinking, here are some options for the strip at the bottom. Get this in the view better. Here we go. So that is an option. It's hard to tell on camera, but this is a flower pattern printed in gold on top of craft paper. Guess why I like it? Here's another option, also craft paper, but copper stripes, metallic copper stripes. You see those? They're so pretty. Here, let me hold this up to the camera more. I just love shiny. I'm feeling shiny for this year. Oh yeah, here's some other options for the numbers. Okay, and then this also is a favorite. It's my last piece I have of this pattern from a scrapbook pad that I bought, I don't know, over 5 years ago. So I might have to use a piece of this. So that's a decision to make, what's going to go along the bottom. And then the other important decision is, what numbers do I want for this year? This was very calming and uniform, just a plain 2022. Let's see. Here's one option, which is 2022. Then I also liked this, the shiny 2 for the new year, and maybe that 0. And I think, yeah, I looked at this quite a bit yesterday, and then I put it aside. Oh, and I keep going back and forth. Do I want these two the same and these two like an outline? Or do I want these two the same? I think I keep leaning a little bit more in this direction, so I'm going to go for it. Okay, okay, decisions made on the numbers. Now, which is going to go on the bottom? That, or that? I don't know. So what I'm going to do first, when I don't know what to do, I do what I know what I'm going to do, which is first I'm going to put on this piece of craft paper, and then I'm going to lay these out again and see what calls me. And that's how I'll decide. Okay, I'll show you what the end result is after I do this. The artist who inspired my numbers is none other than Jasper Johns. He's an American painter, sculptor, and printmaker, and I'm so inspired by his number paintings and prints. This one is from 1961. He was living in New York, and it shows the numbers 0 through 9 superimposed on top of each other. And while the colors are striking, I'm most fond of his paintings that use a lot of gray and monochromatic lithographs like these in another of his number series. Here's how the front turned out. I ended up choosing completely different numbers, I think, from when I started. And that's just how the creative process goes. You never know what's going to happen until you start working, and I just absolutely love that. If you're curious how visual journaling can help you create with more ease and fun, then I'd love to send you my free illustrated visual journaling guidebook. There's a link for you down in the description right below this video. Thanks so much for watching this week's video on how I designed the covers for my yearly visual journal. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. It makes YouTube so happy, and consider subscribing. That makes me happy and helps me reach others who are looking for visual journal and sketchbook inspiration.